I am Pule Molebatsi, bringing you this week's installment of Bophelong on SABC News. Today's guest hopes that his story will not only be informative, but also win your support in spreading the message and create awareness about the syndrome that has hampered with his growth. Justin Johnson is an 8-year-old with a mission to be a role model to others who are similar to him.
Meet Justin and his mother Leanne. He's an 8-year-old full of life and positive energy.
My name is Justin.
I'm 8 years old.
I'm 8 years old.
And I want to grow.
At first glance, Justin looks like he's a normal preschool learner, but that's not the case. He has a sporadic disorder that could not be seen before birth.
The birth was a bit difficult, but it was a normal birth. Justin weighed 2.3, was very tiny. But even then, I didn't pick up that something was wrong. His sister was even smaller than what he was.
Through her pregnancy, there were unwary complications.
With Justin, I think I was about 6 months pregnant, and the bleeding was quite heavy. I went to see a doctor, and he advised me that, okay, medically, I have to go to the hospital to have it checked out because he thinks there might be something wrong. I went to Coronation Hospital, and I got there. I was examined by 3 gynecologists, and all of them actually, the end result is the same. They told me that they'd have to terminate the pregnancy.
Leanne believed for a healthy child and had no doubts even after receiving advice from doctors.
I called my father. They sent me up to another ward. It's actually where they do the termination of pregnancies. And I was sitting there. I didn't know what I was doing there. And I opened up the file and I started reading. And because I wasn't familiar with the term TOP, I asked my sister, do you know what that means? It's just written at the top here, TOP. And she said to me, that means termination of your pregnancy. And I'm like, okay, I didn't agree to have it terminated or anything. So I called my father and he asked me, what does your godly intuition inside of you? How do you feel? What does God say to you when the doctors are telling you all of this? And I said to him that I want to have this baby. Is this the one who doesn't have breaks?
After the birth of Justin, everything seemed fine until Leanne's mom noticed his clothing size not changing.
We discovered 2 years ago, Justin had a cough and I took him to doctor, and I told the doctor that Justin is very tiny for his age. He was 6 at the age, wearing 24 to 36 months old clothes. And he didn't eat very well. And when the doctor looked at him, the doctor asked me, am I sure he's 6? I said to him, yes, Justin is 6 years old. He weighed Justin, he measured Justin, and he said, no, this can't be. Just wait.
Yeah, it's fine. Go. Let me see.
What they thought was hereditary soon surprised them, as at 6 years old, Justin still looked and weighed as a 3-year-old.
They referred us to a pediatrician, and Justin had to have his left hand X-ray. I believe in the bone they could see his age. And in the bone, his age showed that he's 2.5 years old. And they referred us to a specialist that Justin is at now.
Leanne was shocked to the findings and the amount of medication given to her son.
I got home and the kitchen table was almost filled with medication. Justin's got this pump that we have to every night. It's almost like an asthmatic pump. For his lungs, he didn't get enough oxygen. Eventually, when I did go and see Dr. Siegel, he asked me to bring an X-ray of Justin's left hand. We got to Donald Gordon. He did a few tests, and he told me that, okay, your son has Russell-Silver syndrome. And on the wall, I
Their findings were that Russell-Silver syndrome is a rare congenital disorder which is characterized by slow body growth.
It's Russell-Silver syndrome, and she must go and look it up. He explained to her a little bit, but he said to her, go Google it and look up what it is about. But Justin's brain is fine. There's nothing wrong with his brain. The only problem is Justin's growth. And the doctor said we must be thankful because Justin's bone structure is very strong. Normally, their bone structure is not very strong. You get dwarfs under the same dwarfism, and there's something else that you get under the same, but Justin hasn't got that. Some of them grow very, very tall. They grow, just go on, but Justin's growth is hampered.
Leanne and her mom knew they had to find ways to educate themselves and the community about the syndrome, but they continued to treat Justin like a normal child.
At his age, his favorite pastime is playing with his friends, but it's not always fun as they have not quite grasped what his condition is really about. Let's take a short break. We'll be back with more.
Ahika Manor produces abstract and symbolic works of art. He called his latest collection Vote with Ink, Not Blood.
Praying for peace, literally, in my own way.
The South African film titled Luister or Listen in Afrikaans tackles issues of race in the country.
I think that the end goal is the reformation of institutional culture, but how we get there is in fact through changing the language policy so that no student is forced to learn in Afrikaans.
It's fashion designers like Julia Mpoko who are starting to pay more attention to menswear and hope to make a mark in the fashion industry.
So regardless of whether you're African, European, there's certain styles that you like. So if an African man enjoys wearing simple, well-tailored pants, then yes, I guess.
Join Refulo Mula for that 1 hour weekly dose of arts and entertainment news every Friday at 9 p.m. on Trends.
Welcome back to Bophelong with me, Pule Molebatsi. Justin finds it even more difficult to be around his peers. This inability to grow has made him vulnerable and he's an easy target to the bullies at school. Watch this.
Justin Johnson was diagnosed with a rare disorder that hampers with his growth hormone, Russell-Silver syndrome. It is found that 1 in 75,000 children have the syndrome. Sadly, not many practitioners in South Africa can detect it at an early age.
I like to call me Shoti Makoti and it tease me at school.
Now being at school and being the tiniest, Justin would make up excuses not to go to school.
At school, every day you'd have a story of my head hurts, I don't want to go to school, my stomach hurts. And I asked him, every day you have a different story and you actually make me late for work. What is going on at school? And he said to me, okay, the kids are bullying him, they're calling him names. He doesn't want to go to school because they call him Shoti Makoti. And I remember grade R when I took Justin to school for the first day. He was the smallest kid at school.
Justin's grandmother became more aware of other kids that had similar signs of the syndrome.
I've met a girl, Regina. She lives in Tukomsres. Regina must be, I think Regina's 18 or 19 this year. Regina's in matric. Regina wears a size 5, wears 5 to 6 clothes. And I think Regina wears a size 5, small 5 school shoes.
Eldridge has spotted one child that has a similar condition. All 3 of these girls are 12 years and in grade 7, but one is showing signs of RSS.
I try to give Justin the assurance or that he is normal, that there is nothing different from him, that he is just a short, sweet little boy.
At Eldridge Primary School, Justin's former principal, Mr. Kluter, made sure to educate both learners and parents about the condition.
When it started off with Justin, people became more aware of it. I think we started also with a drive here at school. We also made parents aware of Justin's condition. And there was a few people that committed themselves in supporting the family.
Leanne is keeping a faith that she will get medication for Justin regardless of the expense.
To find out if your child is not suffering from Russell-Silver syndrome. And I think that the treatment should be made available, actually, because it's costly. Growth hormones are very, very costly.
95, 94.
In Justin's case, there was plenty of hope.
Justin's case is not very severe because he won't ever have to go for cosmetic surgery, and there is treatment available. That gave me hope.
His former teacher, Mrs. De Villiers, was very supportive after being made aware and did her own extensive research.
When I met Justin in 2014, his performance was very, very weak. He was immature. Very, very immature. He was like a 4-year-old, like he didn't understand me. His handwriting, I had to work with Justin a lot individually. Just give him that attention to get him on par, but his performance was not at all good in 2014. So I retained him. He repeated grade 1. In 2015, I saw a very different Justin. A Justin that performed in class, a Justin that would answer questions that was asked. He actually became my little monitor.
43, 42, 41.
The treatment has made a lot of difference in Justin's growth.
With the treatment now, he's on the treatment for 7 months now. There's a difference. Justin is wearing now age 3 to 4. 8 is 8, but we wear age 3 to 4. We can buy now 3 to 4 years and not 24 to 36 months. Sometimes it was 18 to 24 months Justin used to wear when he was 6, 7 years old.
Justin goes through each and every day believing that he will be able to grow. The treatment is a grueling and a painful one, but he has mastered the courage to endure it. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us.
A very good afternoon. You're watching the Midday Report.
Lunchtime news amplified.
But for now, this is what they call home. Their hope to shift to a higher ground seems to be against the tide.
Midday Report provides you with more than just news stories.
I just want Port Elizabeth to know that they own a world-class theatre.
Good afternoon, you're with the news at 1 in the headlines.
Very good afternoon to you. This is News Live. I'm Natasha Thorpe. Let's take a quick look at what's coming up in your headlines.
Good afternoon and welcome to A View from the House.
For all things news, tune in to Midday Report weekdays at 12 noon only on the SABC News channel.
Welcome back. Taking growth hormones sometimes tempers with Justin's mood. Often when this happens, he isolates himself from friends and family. He looks forward to the day where he has grown to the required size for his age.
Justin has Russell-Silver syndrome, and this is how he takes his growth needle shots.
Yeah, this is Skylar and she's sitting here and my mom is going to give me injection.
These are the 6 clicks Justin gets every night.
Every evening after 6 p.m., Justin must take his injections.
He gets it every night. We have to turn the pen 6 times, and it's 6 injections into the buttocks. Other patients who suffer from Russell-Silver syndrome, they inject on the thighs, maybe the arm, but because Justin doesn't have any body fat, we can't actually inject him anywhere else besides the buttocks because it's the only place where he's got some fat. And hopefully, eventually, over the years, he might pick up the weight required. And
The family, after the diagnosis and the discovery of the expensive treatment, brainstormed ways of making the community aware of the syndrome and sought for funding from local businesses.
We've tried with Radio Eldos. We had Inspector Carr, the Glen, on board for 6 months. We had an awareness at our stadiums in Eldorado Park Extension 9 Stadium, but it was very, very poor. It was mostly my family that was attending it, and so it didn't help us much.
Here are some of the signs Leanne educates people about.
Compulsive sweating. Justin sweats at night, whether it's summer or winter, where the pillow is actually wet, completely wet. So we have to put a towel on the pillow. He's very, very active. He's got ADD. One of his legs is shorter than the other one, but it's not noticeable. You can't actually pick it up. It's by inches. Some of these kids, their toes are kind of funny. It almost looks like frog feet. The disorders, some of them have different disorders. Look, with Justin, it was the speech. Others take very long to walk. They withdraw themselves. And they actually do suffer from depression. They reach puberty at a very early age. Like Justin is 8 now. Sometimes he carries on like he's 16 because their minds are advanced. They above the rest. It's almost like he's at the stage now where he doesn't want girls to be in the bathroom. And sometimes my father would laugh because he'll open the door and he'll be like, and we'll say like, what you hiding? You're still small.
The community reached out to help give Justin his Christmas wish.
We did have a function for Justin at the Eldorado Park Stadium, but there wasn't much support from the community. Justin has been on Radio Elders twice before the event. They've actually helped us a lot. We had a sponsor for 6 months who paid for his treatment for 6 months. That was his Christmas wish.
Leanne was only worried about one thing.
My worries are the bullying, because eventually that it leads to a whole different things in life. Some of these kids actually, they become suicidal.
The medication is working and Justin is catching up to kids his age.
He's more excited now because he's growing, and he actually lets us know, Mom, my pajamas is small, I'm growing, you must buy other pajamas. And the shoe size, it's constantly changing now, so that gets him excited. His teacher also, she measures him up in class with another boy, Quincy. And she's also picked up that Justin is growing. So the treatment is something that I can honestly say, I can see the difference, it's working.
His energy is infectious and everyone believes in whatever Justin wants to do or become.
There's so much that he wants to do. He loves to draw, he loves cars. I don't know, he wants to be a rugby player, then a soccer player. It changes. And his speed, I think athletically he will do very well. So whatever Justin wants to do, I'll support him 100%.
Justin's got energy like nobody will believe it. Justin doesn't come in by the gate. Justin jumps over the wall. Justin, there's a tree outside, you'll see the tree. Justin goes right on top of the tree and he somersaults down. At his previous school, one of the guards told my son, please, you must speak to this child, I don't want to go to jail. Because Justin gets on top of the tree and then he jumps off. He's got energy like nobody knows for that little man. But his bone structure very, very solid. I always say he's a harde mannetjie.
Leanne wants one thing for Justin's life.
I would just like for him to be a normal child first. I want him to enjoy his childhood like every other child. I don't want kids to bully him, but I also don't want him to be or have a low self-esteem. So I told him that you need to be confident, you need to love yourself and embrace your difference, because we all have a little difference in us and you should be proud that you're different.
Mrs. de Villiers is willing to do whatever it takes to help the community with their awareness.
It does take the whole village to raise a kid. It doesn't have to be your own child, but it's very important that we invest into the lives of our children and that we steer them in the right direction.
We would like to thank Justin's family for allowing us into their home and documenting their story. We hope that the information has opened you up to be more receptive to people such as Justin, and that you will be joining the movement and creating awareness. Remember, you can get in touch with us via the different mediums displayed at the bottom of your screen. Thank you so much for watching. Until next week, it's a goodbye from us.